Welcome into the Hong Kong Fusion Podcast with your hosts, Dave, Jack, and Tyler.
Good evening, gentlemen. Wednesday, November 8th, heading into week 10 of the NFL season. We've got the full squad, and I think my team's back. 2-0 again.
Famous last
Helps
words.
when you trade worse players for better ones.
You know, they
Some would call
do
that
say
winning the
that
trade.
helps. Some would call that a good strategy. Thanks, Kyle. I know you're not listening. Well, we have two trivias again that we'll get into, or YouTube exclusive. YouTube.com/HCAFpod. Jack looks surprised at that.
I would like to say, groundbreaking moment last Thursday, November 2nd, 5:07 a.m. We received our first ever comment on a YouTube video
Wow.
from a gentleman named Peter Artega. And it was on last week's episode, and it said, half youth, half olds for the championship.
Nice. Go fuck yourself, Pete.
I'm not gonna say anything because he just shit on me.
In more Pete-related news, Pete DM'd me on Sleeper. I believe this was Tuesday night. Nope. That was yesterday. Maybe Monday night. And I had DM'd that man the show doc for the podcast episode that he guested on approximately 2 months ago. And his DM, his reply to that, 2 months later said, "Hey, I just saw this."
For those of you who don't know Pete, now you know Pete.
He is tuned in. In any case, if you watched the podcast on YouTube last week, you would have noticed some blurred boxes around my face. And that is because I failed to remove my Zoom background that is associated with my current workplace. It has identifying information on it. And I wasn't going to make that mistake for the second time in my life. Little story time. Back in high school, one Steve, friend of ours, former Sacco, left the league.
And former champion.
And former champion. Left the league because he didn't have the time to play fantasy anymore and then joined a work league. But our friend...
Let me interject in your story time because this pisses me off. We've had several people quit because they didn't want to keep playing fantasy, and then they are in other leagues, some of which are much more
involved.
Take much more bandwidth. Anyway, sorry.
And text us for fantasy football advice.
Yeah. I should just send him a picture of my butthole next time.
So Steve and I, back in high school, we had a class together called DVP, Digital Video Production. And one of our projects was to make a how-to video. We came up with how to fool around at work. We got permission from
Brilliant.
3 of 3 managers at our workplace, one of which was Steven's mother. And we made a hilarious how to fool around at work video. The teacher loved it. Our class loved it. We were begged to put it on YouTube so that friends of ours could show their friends because of how funny they thought it was. This was probably like a February, March project. And then this was a summer job, so cut to, June, July times. I come in for a shift, and Steve's mom says, "Hey, the district manager's in the back and needs to see you." So I walk in and I turn down the hallway, and I can see the district manager there, laptop open, hands folded on the desk, waiting for me to walk in. And so I walk up to the desk, and she turns the laptop 180 degrees so that I can see the screen standing in front of her. And it's just our video on YouTube. And she's like, "Would you like to tell me what this is?" And so I explained, and she's like, "Yeah, you're done. You're not going to work here anymore." And that's the whole story. Then Steve got fired an hour later.
What was her response when you said that, "Hey, I checked with managers who said this was fine"?
Her response was that the video painted the company in a negative light.
So I have the question: is this video still on YouTube?
This video is no longer on YouTube. It was taken down in an effort to get our jobs back. It more than likely exists on a flash drive that is maybe still at my parents' house, but couldn't tell you where it was. So it does, unfortunately.
Since you didn't get your jobs back, I would have put it back up.
Yeah, we thought about it, but I don't know. Never happened. That's the whole story. So now that I have responsibilities, I wasn't going to risk doing that again, even though we're not doing anything wrong here. We're just three dudes talking football.
Yeah, I say some
right.
weird things sometimes, though.
Yeah, like sending pictures of your butthole, I believe, was just uttered a few minutes ago.
That was one of the tamer things.
Yes, one of the tamer things indeed. All right, let's move on.
Matchup preview.
Whoa, no. One of you boys can take it away for last week.
I'll start. I'll be brief. My team just didn't show up, pretty much. I lost by 30. Lamar Jackson did not need to do anything, so he scored very little points. Josh Downs got hurt after having one catch for 10 yards. Cleveland defense did the jinx. So did Kincaid, who's been a sensational pickup, had 10 catches on 11 targets.
Yep.
And then T. Higgins also did well.
T. Higgins might be back.
Spoiler alert, I think he is.
He also didn't practice today because of a new injury. So
yeah.
Something to monitor.
Chase also didn't practice today.
Something
But
else
anyway,
to monitor.
so Diggs, Cooper, of course, Jonnu Smith had 100 yards and a touchdown. And
it's like the tight end 9 on the year, by the way.
Cleveland's defense in real life put up probably one of the more impressive performances of my lifetime. The Chargers defense did more for fantasy, so they even outscored me. So yeah, I lost by 30. Not too mad about it because of, people got hurt, game scripts, weird things. It is what it is. Pete did have a goose for Michael Thomas. He owes an Eknom.
Yes, he does.
Saying that makes me feel worse that I lost by 30 and he hit someone with 0.
Well, the bottom line is when your defense is your high scorer and their defense outscored your defense, it's not a good week.
Nope. Jinx.
No. So I can follow that up. Across my leagues last week, I had 4 start-sit decisions to make, and I got 1 of them correct. And all of them mattered. So if I got them all right, I would have won in both my leagues. Instead, I lost in both. In our league, it was playing Jeff Wilson over Jalen Warren. That was just stupid. And then the other one was playing Christian Watson over Jake Ferguson. That one I'm not as upset about because I had like Eagles bias, which
Yeah.
is hard to fight. And I have this vision of like Christian Watson's like 3 long touchdowns last year, which are his only 3 good plays in the NFL. So,
Correct.
yeah, if I'd played Ferguson and Warren, I would have won by like 1 point. But the good news is I would have had to death tilt that Jets Chargers game with Justin Herbert only scoring 7 points. So part of me's
Yeah.
glad I didn't have to go through that.
You also got hurt by a team being so dominant that their quarterback didn't have to do anything.
Yeah.
Well, kind of. Herbert couldn't do much.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Is there a does Duck Sauce have a quarterback controversy right now with Sam Howell on the bench, current QB6, while Herbert's the current QB7?
not this week. They don't.
This week we don't. That is correct. Herbert's got Detroit at home, so I will take my chances with that game just getting all of the points.
Game's gonna be the over/under is gonna be 100.
It's going to be fun to watch. Speaking of the Chargers, it's very fun rostering Austin Eckler. That guy scored 3 rushing touchdowns in the same drive, but only one of them counted. Also why Justin Herbert didn't do anything. But Deontay caught his first touchdown in forever. So
Like
shout out
600
to
something days, right?
shout out to him.
Still
Uh,
wild.
It also continues to be very fun to have both Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown. Touchdowns with both of those two involved are so fun on so many levels, both in real life and for fantasy. And I get to rename TY. I texted Nick and asked what I should make his name, just on the basis that I don't really know enough about him or know him well enough to feel like I can openly disrespect him by renaming him something terrible. So waiting for Nick's input, and then TY will have a new team name.
You should have named him. Was that Bruce Koala or something weird that was in the
Bruce
group chat?
Boxer Knowles, I don't
Butch
keep
Koalas.
rambling.
Butch Kowalski.
I like Bruce Koala better.
All right,
Speaking
that's a
of
good
that,
start.
He still has to rename Nick from week 8. So just a reminder.
I hate him. I hate him.
Can I unrename my team for being the biggest
No,
blowout?
definitely
I wish I
not.
could. I really wish I could. Anyway, before we move on to trivia, this league had some groundbreaking historical activity. We completed our first 3-team trade in the history of Hong Kong Fusion. This was a trade that Tyler and I had discussed for multiple weeks, and I kind of like jokingly tossed out like, hey, let's find somebody who needs a running back or a tight end that is willing to give you someone better. And sure enough, Todd loses Dallas Goedert over the weekend. RIP for a few weeks. And I have Taysom Hill on my bench. Todd wanted Taysom Hill. Tyler needed a running back, of which Todd had a bunch of, and 3-team trade. Trading's fun. And I believe we have 2 more weeks left.
You could do one of those things.
Trading ceases to be a possibility at the end of the Week 11 Monday night game, for the record. So, yeah, go win a trade. Make your team better. Or don't. And then you can hang out with
You
Kyle.
think anybody wants Marvin Mims?
I'm not even
I've-
sure the Broncos want Marvin Mims.
I've got 2 kickers currently, if you'd like one of them.
One's
I
on
wouldn't mind.
bye.
If you want a kicker on a bye week,
Consider.
feel free to shoot that over. All right, anything else before we move into Jack's favorite segment?
Nothing.
Okay.
Fantasy Football Trivia.
All right, we are going to be a YouTube exclusive trivia again. So if you're listening to the podcast, you won't hear anything I just said. Go to the YouTube. Our first game is going to be a classic game that you'll know, but of course a fantasy football twist. We are going to play some Connect 4. The way this is going to work is exactly like the grids. You've got divisions across the top. Any team that had a bye is substituted with an NFC North team because there's only 7 columns and there's 8 divisions. So you've got the Packers available there in the AFC South on the left. You've got the Vikings in with the AFC West, and you've got the Bears in with the NFC West. Stats on the right-hand side, and this is based off of last week. You've got to name a player in that division that achieved that particular stat last week. And then I will drop one of your little tokens in that spot, and we'll see who can connect 4 first.
So I have a question.
Go for it.
Yes, you have to start with the bottom row.
Do we have to start with the bottom row?
If you were to put a chip in, it would fall as far as it could possibly go.
Oh,
Yes, you would have to, you don't need to fill the bottom row, but if we're going NFC East here, you would need to start with 75 receiving yards.
wait,
Then
you have to? Or couldn't you just say something for 5 catches and it would fall all the way to the bottom?
no, you need to hit the appropriate circle
God
here based
damn
on what it
Okay,
is.
so
This
here
is terrible.
let's do. So if I said that Trent Cole recorded a sack,
No, you can't
just
do that.
pretend.
You
Okay.
have to, wherever the chip would fall, you need to answer the question correctly.
Okay.
So whoever's
man.
first correct answer would need to start on the bottom. Once there is a spot there, the next person could go above it or take any of the other.
This is already terrible because I have to choose. Like, my knowledge is going to be limited. It's going to dictate where I go.
Yeah, well,
It's not going to be the game dictating where I go. It's going to be
Well,
Jack. We're going to race to get 4 vertical to win.
Probably.
I will say that you can reuse a player. So if that
Okay.
person happened to have 75 and a touchdown, theoretically, use that player in both spots. So
Okay.
obviously we're going to alternate here. Tyler, forever disadvantaged at trivia. You've got the first one here, boss.
Oh man. Okay, I'm going to go. Do I have to tell you which column, or will that be
Yeah,
obvious?
just give me
Okay. AFC North, I'm going to pick Amari Cooper.
Amari Cooper, 75 yards. He had 139. So that is going to work. And Jack, on you.
Love the picture.
Yeah, only the best.
I'm gonna do. Gus Edwards scored a touchdown.
That'll also work.
Okay. I'm going to do CeeDee Lamb scored 75 or had 75 or more receiving yards.
He had a whole
NFC
bunch.
East.
Jack, back to you. I will also
say
add
that-
that there is at least one correct answer for every
Okay, that makes sense.
spot on this board. There is no impossible squares, circles.
I'm gonna say that Keenan Allen had 75 receiving yards.
Definitely feels safe. Keenan Allen just snuck in there. He had 77 receiving yards.
God damn, I don't know anyone else. All right, I'm just gonna go. AJ Brown scored a touchdown.
He definitely did.
Go with CD Lamb had 5 catches.
Yeah.
It also feels pretty safe.
hmm
Not going to go look that one up to verify.
Okay. I really need to get this NFC West with the
I
Bears.
think I know that
instead.
one.
I don't either. Was it a Ram? No. Well, the Cardinals didn't score. Seahawks also didn't score. I mean, they did, but not a lot. Jesus. I'm gonna go with T. Higgins had 5 or more catches.
I do believe that he had 5 or more, but let me vet that
he
one real
had, like,
quick.
8. I believe he was 8 for 10 for.
He was 8 for 9.
Oh, even
So
better. That's efficient.
that'll work.
I really need
I'm
to.
gonna go with Austin Eckler scored a touchdown.
Yes, he did. Guys are hitting all those middle squares. No misses yet. Proud of you.
Jonnu Smith had 75 or more receiving yards.
He
Damn
had, I
it, I was
believe,
gonna say that.
He had 100.
he had a 60-yarder.
He also, I know he finished with 100.
Yes, he did. Jack, this could be a big get for you right here.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Keenan Allen had 5 catches.
Do believe he had 5. He had 8. So that'll work. It's going to give you 2 potential spots to win there. Let's see if
Is this only players?
you cannot use a defense.
Well, fuck.
Can you use quarterback?
Absolutely.
So the question is, well, I know that Herbert didn't. Question is, did Mahomes? I know he didn't have the greatest game. Did Dobbs or did Aiden O'Connell? Or did see? I don't think Herbert. I mean, Keenan did. Well, Eckler had to. I'm gonna say Eckler 17 plus fantasy points.
We locking that in?
Got there.
Yes.
He did get there. He finished with 21.
Okay. Just for my own edification, did any of the quarterbacks hit 17?
Josh Dobbs would have been the only correct answer for that square. Well, at quarterback specifically.
Right.
Yeah. You also would have had Josh Jacobs.
Oh, yeah, I knew nothing about that Raiders game, honestly, other than they had fun, apparently.
They did have
With the
quite
weight
the
lifted
time.
off their shoulder.
Quite the time in the locker room. You
All right,
could
I'm
have
gonna
also gone with
say-
Alexander Madison for that square.
Yeah. I'm gonna say that Garrett Wilson had 75 receiving yards.
Garrett Wilson, 75. They scored 6 points. He did get there. He finished with 80. Once again, right in there. Tyler, on you.
Jonnu Smith scored a touchdown.
Yes, he did. He's also getting jet sweeps on the goal line right now, which seems like an interesting plan.
It does.
Ridiculous.
So ridiculous.
Cade Otton had 5 catches.
He had a pretty big game. Everyone in that game, I feel like, did fairly
For
well.
real.
Cade Otton had 6 catches, so that will be good. Nicely done. Still no misses.
Yet.
Made a T.
Yet.
Here's where it gets tough. All right. Dak had 17 or more fantasy points.
He certainly did. That'll work. Oops.
You just zoomed out.
There we are.
I'm gonna say that Amari Cooper had 17 fantasy points.
He did.
Yeah, he had a pretty big game. That'll work.
We really need to figure out this NFC West receiving yards thing.
Dude, I have no idea.
Me neither.
That's why I took that bottom right square.
I
'Cause I
know.
didn't want you to randomly
Yep.
think of it.
I know, it was a good strategy.
I will just remind you that the Bears are also in that spot.
Yeah, I see them.
Okay.
There's only one person. I just don't want to get it wrong. I'm not willing to get one
The
wrong
thing. Yeah.
here. Can you go back to slideshow?
Yes, I can. I'm also second guessing myself now if there is a correct answer for everything, but there is.
I don't know this, but I have to assume that Baker Mayfield had 17 or more fantasy points.
That seems risky.
Didn't he that game was such a shootout?
He had 19. He got in there.
Jeez, how do you only have 19? Did he turn the ball over?
Rashad White had 2 rushing touchdowns.
Oh,
That I know for sure off the top of my head.
Yep.
all right. Well,
Okay.
this is riveting.
I'm gonna say that
We've made a square, and then Jack has a period at the end.
You guys can start building that AFC
okay.
South.
Tank Dell had 75 receiving yards.
Yes, he did. Those boys catching everything out there. All right, still no strikes or misses. Can't really strike out of this one. Lots of touchdowns in the AFC South this week.
I'm not going there though. That would be dumb strategy.
It would be very dumb.
Yeah.
I mean, now's as good a time as ever to take a shot at that NFC West receiving yards.
Yeah, but I'm gonna take one first. I'm gonna try somewhere else first. That's also non-risk.
Okay.
I'm gonna say Josh Jacobs had over 4 yards a carry.
Josh Jacobs, 4 yards a carry. Let's bet that one. That is not going to be correct. He
Okay.
had 26 for 98. So that's going to be just under 4.
Okay.
Jack, over to you.
I'm gonna say that uh Von Diggs scored a touchdown.
He definitely had a touchdown. That will work. As soon as I can remember what column the AFC East is in.
All the way to the
Yeah.
right there.
Oh God. The fuck had more than 5 catches.
AFC South is now just a full avoid for everyone.
Well, it makes no sense for me to
Mhm.
go for it, and therefore there's
Likewise.
right. Man. Here's the problem. I really need to get this one because I have no idea who would have more than 17 fantasy points.
Targeting that
I
AFC
have to
East
imagine
5+ catches.
I have to imagine Diggs had more than 5 or more catches.
He had 6.
Oh my God.
So you're in there.
I would have killed myself on stream.
With the block.
Jesus.
And that's why we blur out our work backgrounds, everybody.
Yeah, it is.
Say that
Couldn't tell you.
Alexander Madison averaged 4 yards a carry.
Definitely gonna bet that one.
That was my
Since
next
he's-
guess.
Since he's terrible. That is certainly not going to work. He was under 3.
That is interesting. Because I don't think Eckler did either. He had a terrible running day. So that leaves I don't think Pacheco did. But I also don't think Josh Kelly did.
Speaking of bad at football.
Josh Kelly had that in the limited game of that I watched, he had one big run, in like a 12-yard run. So it's how bad was he on his other carries?
I did not put a minimum carry on this. So
Well, I know he had more than one. I just don't know how many he had to bring that 12-yard carry down. I don't think Pacheco did it. I feel like if they
Just had a revelation.
gonna need an answer.
Did Josh Dobbs have more than 4 yards of carry?
God damn it.
We locking it in?
Yeah.
He did. That's gonna work.
Was that your revelation, Jack?
Yep.
Yeah.
Quarterbacks. It was just
Yeah.
quarterbacks.
Yep.
Yep. There it is.
Just for my own edification, can you check if Josh Kelly had more than 4 yards of carry?
He did. He would have worked.
I had a feeling he did.
3 for 18.
Yep. Yeah, of course. His other 2 carries, he was under 4, but that one big one helped.
Justin Herbert also would have worked. He was 3 for 17.
Wow, get good, Herbert.
All right. Jalen Warren, 4 yards a carry.
Jalen Warren, 4 yards of carry. Let's take a look. He's in there. Looks to be approximately 8 yards per carry. So that'll work.
Interesting placement.
There we are. Back to Tyler. Might have to duplicate these tokens. I really expected a winner by now.
Dude,
Might have our first ever
so here's my
tie.
thing. I really think so if I somehow got the 75 plus receiving yards, I don't know if I know who scored a touchdown.
I bet Jack knows.
I do know who scored a touchdown.
Well, it was definitely not a Cardinal.
This is actually funny. That this whole column is funny.
Um,
I will also say, just before any more guesses go out, quarterback passing touchdowns are not acceptable for that spot. Needs to be somebody that actually scored.
well, I don't know.
Quarterback
know-
rushing touchdowns would be fine.
I know
Just not passing.
Kamara didn't. I don't know anything about how Algier had a big game, but I think he scored. Did Rashad White have more than 4 yards to carry?
Rashad White, just barely. No,
You
he was
baited me
20 for 73. So just missed it.
there.
Jack, back to you.
I'm gonna say that Von Diggs had 17 fantasy points.
Definitely feels safe. Could have just named that column fucking Stephon Diggs.
For real.
That'll work.
Again, interesting placement.
Yeah.
You're just blocking me from being able to get 4 up.
Ty,
My
you want to rip?
strategy.
You want to rip Stephon Diggs 4 yards of carry?
No, I don't.
I put the defensive one on top because I legitimately didn't even think we'd get up there.
God, who the fuck had 4 yards to carry in the NFC South?
So funny.
Did Taysom Hill have 4 yards to carry?
Ooh.
Of course he fucking did. I mean, I don't know if he did, but he probably did.
Let's see. He just
Yep.
makes it. Yeah. He had 11 carries for 52 yards. So
I don't know why
just
I went
stuck in
there.
there.
I couldn't tell. I'm gonna be guessing at the top.
Well,
All right, so for a turnover, our fumbles, do fumbles like forced count or covered?
I would say they needed to actually record the fumble recovery.
Right, like you're not
Okay.
talking about someone who committed a fumble, committed a turnover. You're talking about someone who
A defensive
Yeah,
player,
forced.
right? Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
a defensive player who either intercepted the ball or recovered a fumble or sacked the quarterback.
This is so bad.
Don't worry, I have no idea. We're gonna be guessing defensive players that are big enough names.
Did did Brian Burns record a sack or a turnover?
Brian Burns. I'm definitely gonna need to go look this up. Let's see. Shout out to Fantrax. The worst fucking fantasy football app
Platform ever
in the universe.
that we pay for.
I don't pay for it.
Well, you don't, but
Brian Burns, Carolina Panther.
we're getting there. You're in the right
Okay.
division, Jack.
He's on my Fantrax team.
Oh, you should know.
Did you check it at all?
I don't start him usually.
Yeah. Also, who looks at defense?
Brian Burns had 2 solo tackles, 1 tackle for loss, was not on the quarterback. He also did not record a turnover. So that is going to be incorrect. And Tyler, you've got a chance to win here.
Yeah, but I don't know. Did Demario Davis record a sack?
I was
Mario
gonna say.
Davis. Let's see. For the win, Demario Davis, 8 solo tackles, a forced fumble,
Oh,
not a fumble recovery,
oh, God damn it.
Ooh.
recorded a sack. That's a dub for Tyler.
Maybe the first ever.
And Tyler takes Connect 4.
Oh my god.
Have to
The
admit, that was really fun.
Agree. It was a good one.
This is a really
NFC West 75 plus. Anyone want to take a shot?
So you said the whole category is funny. Is it just Cole Kmet, Cole Kmet, Cole Kmet, Cole Kmet?
So it would have been Darnell Mooney,
Mooney.
75
He also scored a
plus.
touchdown.
He did not.
Oh, Komet.
Cole
Cole
Kmet.
Kmet did. He scored both of the passing touchdowns, the only touchdowns. Cole Kmet would have worked here. He definitely would have worked there. Yeah. The NFC West,
Did Bajent have more than 4 a carry?
he may have.
The Cardinals didn't even have 75 passing yards.
No, Brett Rippon had 4 a carry, over 4 a carry. The NFC West collectively scored, I don't know if you guys know this, they collectively scored 6 points
Dude,
on Sunday.
pretty sure the Cardinals had 56 yards of total offense.
Yeah, I mean, it was Clayton Tune had 58 passing yards. Oh, Clayton Tune would have worked. He was 5 for 28 on the ground. Spoiler alert, the Arizona running backs were 12 for 10 on the ground. So
Okay, so it was
they would not have
Yeah.
worked. This would have been Brett Rippon. Rondale Moore would have worked as well. Excuse me, that's not correct. That's his receiving yards. But yeah, so Tyler takes it down. Well done. We have second trivia, and we are going back to connections. This is
we're a
based
team
off
again.
of week 9. You guys are now a team, no longer head to head. And while y'all take a look, for those of you that didn't see last week, this game is connections. There are 16 players on screen, and there are 4 groups of 4 players. Each group has something in common that the other 12 players did not do last week, so there's no overlap in the groups. Categories won't be as easy as there are 4 tight ends on the board, which there are right now. There will also be no, I said no overlap already, but no situation where you get a group and then with the remaining players who could have fit with that other group, now their own category. So every one of these 4 groups has something unique that all 4 players achieved and none of the other 12 on the board did. So same rules as last time. I'll give you all 3 strikes before I start to reveal some things, and happy to give a couple hints along the way as well, but feel free to start talking through what y'all are seeing.
Anything stick out to you right away, Jack?
First touchdown of the season is the only thing that came to mind for Odell, Deontay, and that was it. I don't know. I don't even know who Trey Tucker is.
Trey Tucker is a running back for the Bucks.
Trey Tucker is a wide receiver for the Raiders.
Who am I thinking of? Is there a Sean
Think of
Tucker?
Sean Tucker. That was great. We'll need to clip that for
So,
Twitter.
he's a receiver for the Raiders. Is he a rookie?
Is that Ravers?
That sounds like a fun team.
I heard Ravers.
I didn't. I still don't know if it's a Raven or Raider. I was laughing.
They party hard. Raiders of
Okay.
Las Vegas. He is a rookie. I will say rookie, veteran, that doesn't matter. This is all 4 of these are purely statistical related.
So I'm
from
pretty
week 9.
sure. I think Tyreek and Odell both fumbled.
Okay.
Same as scoring first touchdown of the season. I don't know two others who fumbled. Tank Dell balled out, so it could be like receiving yards. It could be yards per catch. Could be Did he score? I think he scored multiple touchdowns.
2 touchdowns.
Um.
He had a game-winning touchdown.
Okay. Rashi Rice, I believe, scored a touchdown. Johnny scored a touchdown. A lot of people scored a touchdown, so it's not just gonna be one.
Yeah.
For time's sake, because Connect Four took quite a long time, first touchdown of the season is a category.
All right. So Odell, Deontay Johnson. I think Musgrave was his first of the season,
Maybe.
but I don't know.
Could
Oh
be.
wait, Wandale's was his first.
Trey Tucker might stand out as why else would he be here?
Yeah. So
But
Wandale,
I want to. Musgrave does sound good though because I know he's had the air yards. I don't know if he's ever scored until now. But
Have the confidence, Jack.
Wandale, Odell, Deontay, and Trey and Luke Musgrave, first touchdown.
Bang.
Okay.
That's one.
Okay.
Rashee Rice and Jonnu Smith scored touchdowns on screen passes. It's rather specific.
Wonder if it's a
Very,
length of a
very
touchdown,
specific.
like Tank Dell and Johnny both. I mean, well, Johnny had a long one. Tank Dell, I think, had a long one.
That line of thinking is close.
Maybe it was just yards per catch.
Yards per catch.
Does have something to do with a big play.
Oh, catch of more than 50 yards or something, probably.
That is exactly the category.
Okay, well, Johnny for sure.
And probably Tank Dell. So he had like
Probably.
5 catches for 113 yards. Tyreek did not.
He didn't? Okay.
Yeah.
Evans seems kind of likely.
Is likely, also likely.
Devontae didn't. Right?
Pittman.
Couldn't tell you. No idea.
Everyone knows
Seahawks
Michael Pittman's
didn't
A
play.
dot is -3.
I don't think DK did.
Second
Don't-
trivia in a
DK
row where
DK
Tyler
did not.
says DK definitely didn't. And he in fact did.
Oh.
So
He had-
DK,
He had one
Bang.
catch for 50 yards. The only thing he did all day.
Okay.
so DK, Tank, Jonnu, and Mike Evans, 50-yard catches.
DK, Tank, Jonnu, Mike Evans. I will say that 3 of those
Right.
are
I think it's either.
correct.
Oh, wasn't Tank Dell. Okay.
It's not Tank Dell. May have been an aforementioned Tampa Bay running back.
Trey Tucker.
He's the 4th one in that group. 50-yard reception.
Okay.
I will also add that there is a single tight end in every group. So there's another.
So did Rashi
for you.
Rice have a catch other than his touchdown? Did he score a touchdown? I think he did.
Scored.
I wonder if the category could be like his only catch is a touchdown.
That would have to
Scored
be
in
likely.
Germany. No, I'm kidding.
What did Tyreek do? He fumbled. He he what else did he do?
Nothing. He had like 6 catches for 60 yards and a fumble. What did Isaiah Likely do?
Mm.
Zay Likely's category is definitely the toughest one.
Um,
No idea what Hopkins did on Thursday night either.
He
Oh, wait. Never mind.
DeAndre Hopkins, as a reminder, was force fed with very little production. 4 for 11 for 60 yards.
ooh, so it could be something to do with targets or
Mm-hmm.
inefficiency of targets.
I'm just gonna say targets.
Okay,
Kincaid, Hopkins,
probably Tank.
and Pittman.
Yeah,
Once again, that is 3 correct of the group. It's not Michael Pittman.
So Kincaid.
I don't think we
it's
said
also not.
Devontae Smith.
No, it's not Devontae Smith. That's an
Okay.
error on my part. You said Hopkins. It is not Devontae Smith, by the way.
Okay.
That wasn't a mistake. I just
Gotta
simply,
be Tyreek Hill.
simply
If
highlighted
it's
the wrong
not-
person.
If it's also not Devonta Smith, it's definitely Tyreek Hill.
You don't think Isaiah Likely had double-digit targets?
Okay, so what
yeah,
would this category be?
this one
I wanna guess it.
was a tough pull, but yeah, I'll let you string you along for a few minutes.
What are their
I
numbers?
will confirm here that Rashee Rice, he did have another catch other than his touchdown. He was 2 for 2 for 17 and 1.
Do they catch all their passes?
Yeah, catch all their targets.
Yes, they did. 100% catch rate.
Devontae
There you
Smith
go.
is pretty good.
That was connections. Devontae Smith was 3 for 3.
Well, that's not as good as I was hoping.
Rashee Rice was 2 for 2. I believe Isaiah Likely was 4 for 4. And Michael Pittman was 8 for 8. Respectable.
What was the head shake for, Jack?
Hey, I don't know. You have Mark Andrews.
Dude,
Throw
they
it to
were up
him.
by 34.
Yeah,
They'd be like, let's not get Andrews hurt. Let's get these other guys hurt. That's why
he got
wasn't Huntley in at the end of the. I don't think Lamar played the fourth quarter.
he should be if he wasn't.
We
All right,
can-
that was trivia. Hope you were watching on YouTube. If you weren't, head over to the YouTube. Jack, tell them where they can find it.
You can go to youtube.com/HKFpod. Or you can search endlessly in YouTube for like HKF fantasy football and probably never find it.
I'm sure we're the first
That's
result.
how I find it. I don't go to the link. I just search.
Gotta get that search results up.
There you go. Who does our SEO? Which producer is responsible for that?
I think that's Joe.
Mhm.
Yeah. Still hasn't gotten us the DraftKings results.
Yeah.
I forgot it.
We'll wait on we'll wait on that one. All right, before moving into DFS, we've got a word from our sponsor.
Okay, so in honor of DFS this week, it's a sponsored segment, and this is brought to you by the bathroom in the northwest corner of City Hall on the 4th floor, which is where I created my lineup this afternoon. So just remember to respect the law as we go over these lineups. Back to you.
Beautiful.
How are the bathrooms in City Hall?
DFS Showdown.
Old, old,
It the worst
Old.
timing ever.
old, clean, and sad.
That was awesome.
That timing
Yeah.
was terrible.
Jack telling me beforehand to put the word from our sponsor in the show doc and then being totally surprised when I tossed it to him. Followed by Tyler talking over the drop. So good. Oh man. All right, Jack, give us your quarterback from the City Hall bathroom.
Brock Purdy.
Nice.
Wow.
Facing the Jags. I think Jags are gonna win that. I think the Niners are gonna drop 4 in a row.
Yep, that was almost a
I've
bold
got,
prediction. I didn't think it was bold enough.
yeah, I think it's
Jags are good, man.
they are.
Ah,
I think like to the average person it would be bold, but our listeners, they know better.
My current one is egregious, so I might have to go back to that.
Yeah, well, I mean, it wouldn't be you if it wasn't completely egregious. I've got Geno Smith
Ooh.
because,
Mr. Turnover.
yeah, I mean, they put up 3 last week, so Washington's bad, and they traded away their defense. So hoping they can get it together and make up for last week.
I went with Joe Cool. That is Joe Burrow, for those who don't know his nickname.
Yes.
Home against Houston. And I'm just hoping that there's more of
His
that
receivers play.
shootout. Well, there's that, yeah. But I just meant that there's more of a shootout like we saw with Houston this past week.
Yeah. On the other side of that game, how about CJ Stroud being the 3rd highest salary on the week?
Yeah.
He's higher than Joe Burrow.
Yes, he is.
Which is interesting.
You
Yes,
see, he has
is.
more. He has more career touchdown passes than Kenny Pickett.
Is that true?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I mean, it helps that Kenny Pickett only has like 13.
I saw a stat this week. Kenny Pickett has thrown more than 1 touchdown in a game 1 time in 20 games.
I'm pretty sure that Jamal Charles has thrown more than 1 touchdown.
More
Certainly-
multi-touchdown
Certainly
games.
had more multi-touchdown games.
He's thrown more multi-touchdown games than Kenny Pickett.
Oh man, I've got Antonio Gibson at running back, and I've also got Aaron Jones at running back.
What are you laughing about?
Jack's face when I said Antonio Gibson.
I missed it. We have to watch.
Gross.
Yeah, you'll have to watch. I think he had 6 targets last week, and I expect him to be down. So I think that's hey, you got to save money somewhere. So
This
He
is true.
fumbles once again and then is not on the field.
yeah, that could certainly happen.
I have CMC stack. We're back to the QB running back stack, and I have Tyler Algier. He's only
Quarterback running back stack
4,700.
is always good for second.
Yep. Algier's only 4,700, and their coach is stupid. So
Well, so far, the 3 of us are
Valid.
completely unique because I have Tony Pollard at home against the Giants, who hopefully
Yeah.
they get up huge and then he just runs. And Jalen Warren.
Nice. I had a lineup with Tony Pollard, and then I just realized that I shouldn't pay that much for someone who hasn't really done it. Although the matchup is great, so
Yeah.
we'll see.
I hope Tyler wins DFS based on those running backs.
You playing Jalen Warren this week? You're not going to make the
Yes.
same mistake.
I'll bye weeks also kind of force my hand. Jeff Wilson's on bye, so I gotta play
there you go.
Jalen Warren.
I was going to say that guarantees Jeff Wilson will have 2 touchdowns, but I guess he can if he's on bye. All right, Tyler, go ahead with your T. Higgins, Jamar Chase double stack.
Nope, just one of them. I went with Higgins, actually. Because if I'm being completely honest, I only saw the news that Chase didn't practice. And I didn't see the news that Higgins didn't practice. So here's hoping it's veteran rest days. But I also, as much as I want pizza that game, I want pieces Peaches. I want peaches.
Peaches.
I want
Just
pieces of the Detroit game as well. So I went with Amon Ra, Sun God.
mm,
And then to save a little bit of money, I went with Jaden Reed, who is definitively better than Romeo Dobbs.
Fucking right. He is. Thank you for finally acknowledging.
Yeah, I was just making a joke, but
Well, he is better. We're moving on. We have overlap now at this point. I also have the Sun God. I've got DK Metcalf to stack with Geno Smith. And I've got Noah Brown, Texans wide receiver,
okay.
who put up, I think, 6 for 150 and 1 last week, and is also 3,700. So that feels like a free square. Not that I think he'll
Seems
repeat it,
decent.
but good bet for that
So
price.
I have 3 completely different receivers. Mike Evans.
Oh, I
is
love
one of
this.
them. Christian Kirk is another.
Christian Kirk
And
Cousins.
I have Tyler Lockett from that Seahawks.
Ooh,
Washington.
very
Uh,
nice. This is the most unique we've ever been.
It is. I do have overlap with one player. My flex is Jalen Warren.
well,
My flex
so.
is Bijan Robinson.
nice. My
Less.
flex is worse than all of yours. Uh,
Is
my
it the tight
flex-
end?
no, worse. My flex is Quentin Johnston.
Woof.
Yeah, could be worse.
I mean,
I don't know.
at some point, hopefully he'll just do something.
I think PFF had him as like 96 out of 105 receivers last
We
week.
saw that.
Yeah.
It's not great.
When
Also
you're running
traded
the
for him in
most
Dynasty.
routes. Yeah, when you're running the most routes and you're only getting 2 of like the 35 targets, that's a massive indicator that
To be fair,
Last week's a tough matchup.
yeah. I mean, he was, both quarterbacks were just getting abused.
oh, he stinks.
He also stinks.
I'm just gonna.
Both things can be true.
I'm just gonna finish my lineup out.
Go for it.
Continuing with that game, I have Laporte as my tight end.
Sam L.
And then
Jackson.
for defense, I have the Jaguars.
I want to hear Jack's defense, and then I can get excited about mine.
I have the Chargers defense.
Yes.
And do you have Cowboys D?
Yes, I do.
I tried to do it, but I didn't have
It's gonna be so great.
courage.
Oh, it's gonna be so
The
great.
Giants Vegas over under is 10.5. That's incredible.
That's the spread, or that's their implied point total?
That's their implied point total.
Yeah.
The spread
okay.
is 16.5.
Yeah, that makes sense. Jesus.
I
I've
have
got
Trey McBride.
Trey McBride.
Hey, look at
tight
that.
End. T. McBee.
T. McBee and Sam Lepee.
There we go. That was DFS, brought to you by the 4th floor bathroom, City Hall. Did I get that
Northwest
right?
corner.
Oh, yes. Moving right into bold predictions, as I just saw what Jack put into the doc.
Bold predictions.
Bijan Robinson, RB1 overall, unleashed against the Cardinals. Terrible defense. That's where I'm going.
Very plausible. Mine, not so much. I have the Browns holding the Ravens to less than 125 total yards. Offensive yards.
Would be
That
remarkable.
seems insane.
It does. But that defense is very good.
I have Trey McBride as the tight end 1 overall. Tyler's
Thief.
back. We'll see.
Kyler is back just in time for Jalen Hurts bye week. Plan came together. I just needed to send Kyler away for like the middle 7 weeks,
Middle part of
8
the season.
weeks.
Have Richardson get hurt. Geno Smith sting.
Trade for Jalen Hurts. It was always the plan. Now we're live. All right. Well, I mean, nothing, no Google searching terms came up and Connect 4 took forever. So here we are at the end. Any final thoughts?
No, Connect 4 was very fun though.
It was.
All right,
And
sounds good.
this entire experience for me was very enjoyable tonight.
Yes. Glad we were able to get on and chat for a little while amongst the daily activities, which we'll chat about in 2 weeks, and you're legally allowed to chat about it.
I pray it's 2 weeks.
I hope it's less than that.
I
your sake.
hope it's less. Also, jinx.
Well, until then, continue to enjoy the Northwest Corner bathroom.
Yeah. And if you're in this trial, just settle.
I don't know if you can legally say that.
I mean, like, if you're the people that are... Whatever. Shut up.
You recognize this man.
Thanks for listening to the Hong Kong Fusion Podcast. Send your mailbag questions to hkfpod@gmail.com, and we'll see you next week.
Struggling on the record button.